And Johnny, let's move on from the DC side. Batman, Jonah Hill. If you haven't checked it out, if you're on YouTube, check it out on our YouTube page. But if you're on Blog Talk Radio and all our podcasting services, we're going to move right into Spider-Man. Spider-Man. He is back in the MCU. Will it be for a while? I don't know, but at least it's 2 movies. Uh-oh. Spider-Man's in the MCU. Before we get into all your Spider-Man news, though, make sure you check out twitch.tv / that was off the cuff,
I
man.
know.
Like,
that's
was
why
just,
I was stating I didn't put him up to this.
And if you join our Twitch streams when I play like WoW and stuff, twitch.tv / most valuable podcast, I am known to just bust into song at some times to where even Jake, one of our patrons, like, Ricky, just stop it. Just please don't sing. And this is coming from a music teacher, myself, that is singing for you on our live streams and then on the podcast like I just did.
Please stop.
But make sure to check out twitch.tv / most valuable podcast. And if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, owner, whatever the term is, or a Twitch Primer, make sure to throw us that free sub that you get from Amazon Prime each and every month. It really helps us out. So twitch.tv / most valuable podcasts. But Johnny, Spider-Man's back in the MCU. Before we talk about anything about the future of Spider-Man, your first thoughts, reactions, first everything when you heard Spider-Man will be back.
I mean,
in
this
an
is
MCU.
This is best done as a GIF, but it's when Thor goes, yes,
the Ragnarok one.
Yes, the Ragnarok one.
I also like the Walter White GIF of where it's Sony, Marvel, big pile of money.
That's a meme, Ricky.
All right, we'll do one more.
That's called a meme.
Yeah, the meme.
You said GIF.
Oh, I meant meme. You know what I mean. That's why you're here to correct me, co-pilot.
Whoa.
You're like, whoa, you're my co-pilot. Let's get this straight.
You're the sidekick.
But I mean, no, we're like Batman and Nightwing here. We're not Batman and Robin. We're like Batman and Nightwing. We're like Cap and Bucky.
You're shorter. You're the sidekick.
But I'm trying to think of a hero that is shorter than his sidekick. Is there any hero that's shorter than his sidekick?
I don't know.
Oh, Rocket. We're Rocket and Groot. Ha.
But is Groot the sidekick?
Yeah, he is.
Is he though?
Rocket's the brains.
Rocket's the interpreter.
Yeah, he's the brains.
No, he's the interpreter.
He's the brains of the operation, man.
Right.
He's coming up with the plan.
Right.
But it's like when Dave texted Pete and I about it, I almost didn't believe it. Like, wait,
You're
what?
full of shit.
He's back in the MCU. But according, and if my page ever decides to reload here, according to the details, let's see. According to Variety, yet again, we got Variety on the show, the stalemate between Sony and Walt Disney Pictures over the Marvel Studios' involvement in the next Spider-Man movie has ended. The two studios released a joint statement saying that Kevin Feige will indeed produce the follow-up to the well-received Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home alongside Sony's Amy Pascal. As part of course, this superhero hype page is crap, by the way. Because I don't know if it's doing this for you on your side, but it just keeps like breaking on me to where I have to reload it.
Yeah, no, it does that sometimes.
As a part of the deal, Spider-Man will also appear in yet another MCU film. So the exact details of this are there will be Spider-Man 3. He will appear in another non-Spider-Man movie, so we're assuming that means Avengers 5 is when we'll get him next. But then also there's rumors that there's details in this that, first off, after that Avengers 5, Tom Holland is able to be in like Venom 2 so that Sony can tag him at the end of their Spider-Verse movies to bring him into those. But there's also potentially a possibility that Venom could make his way into the MCU in a sense. But for sure, Spider-Man is being bridged over into the Spider-Verse. So the first thing I want to ask you about, Johnny, is Spider-Man 3. now with him being back, before I tell you what their plan is for Spider-Man 3, I want to know what's going on in your head. What should the plot be of Spider-Man 3? Has it changed since this debacle has happened, that Spider-Man has left and has now come back?
No, I wouldn't say so, because not that anything's changed. We gotta go off of whatever is going on with the wow, I forgot what I was gonna say. We have to go off of the fact that he's been outed by Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers, sorry, I forgot to say that.
Yeah, Far From Home spoilers.
Far
if
from
you
home
haven't seen them
spoilers,
yet.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we have to, a big part of it's going to be him having been outed by Mysterio.
Yeah, and J. Jonah Jameson.
And Jonah Jameson, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess did you get the thing I sent you about the there's a little snippet online of J. Jonah Jameson talking?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you were able to post that somewhere down in the description or something.
I can try it if it's got a link. If
Yeah.
it's got a link, I can post it, John.
Okay, then do that.
If it's got a link. It's what you sent me on Facebook, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I'll have to go find it then. But it's funny you say that because I asked you that, setting you up for this. According to We Got This Covered, we've talked about their kind of rumors and sources before on podcasts because they've got nice sources to where it's like, hey, we can go ahead and try and talk about this and see what the plot would be. According to them, the villains of Spider-Man 3 will be Scorpion and Kraven the Hunter. Again, this is from their sources. Like all of their rumors, the sources gave them insider information that had later been confirmed. This time the confirmations were Nightwing and Titan Season 2, an Aladdin sequel, and a Moon Knight feature. Michael Mando played Mac Gargan in Spider-Man Homecoming. Even if you didn't know Gargan was Scorpion, you might have noticed his tattoo of an arachnid. In the post-credit scene, he spoke to Michael Keaton's character, teasing their team up. What would you think if that was the main... Like, I know we talked about Sinister Six and that possibly being it, but would it be a smarter idea, and maybe this is Disney being like, well, we don't want to... Well, I don't know if it's Disney. I'm going to say Sony. What if it's Sony saying, well, we don't want Disney to steal our thunder. We don't want Disney to do our Sinister Six movie. We want that. Like, we want to do the Sinister Six. And maybe Kevin Feige's going, hey, we got a lot of stuff to deal with in the MCU. Let's just fucking chill for a bit. We don't need to do that many villains in one movie for the next Spider-Man. So what would your opinion be, your thought be, if Spider-Man 3 was kind of a Kraven's Last Hunt, or like how we've had the one word thing? Like first it was Homecoming because he was coming back to the MCU. Then it was Far From Home because we're talking about multiverses and being far from where we are and where we started, to where this one would almost be like Spider-Man 3 Hunted. What would you think of that, where it's more of like his villains coming to hunt him, more so Kraven the Hunter and a Scorpion, because both of them kind of have both of them at the top have the most kind of beef with Spider-Man.
No, I mean, I wouldn't say Kraven has beef with Spider-Man, but Scorpion has beef with Spider-Man. I think actually that would be a cool title, and just to have, even if it's just those two, to just have like a Scorpion and like Kraven the Hunter, introducing Kraven the Hunter, fully introducing Scorpion, and have them both like hunt down separately, hunt down Spider-Man.
So it's like, shit, I don't have to deal with just one guy. I have to deal with two.
Especially
but
now
they're
that
not thinking together.
Exactly. They're two separate, and even like have them clash. Like, he's mine. I'm hunting him down.
And they fight him. Like,
they fight it out a little bit.
Because Kraven, we've seen that in the animated series and the comics, where it's like, if he's hunting you and someone gets in the way, well, now you are a villain to me because you are trying to take my kill away from me. Kind of like the old hunter's mantra of like, this is my kill, not yours.
Yeah, no, that'd be kind of cool because like you can play off the Peter's been outed, so they know who Peter Parker is. You can have show Kraven off in Africa, like black and white TV because he's not going to pay for like an expensive TV that's not his important to him.
You can kind of make it maybe somewhere in Wakanda since they've opened themselves up to
maybe
the world.
Outside Wakanda somewhere. I would say just like think
South Africa.
Sort of
Not the Serengeti.
No, but think about like I'm trying to think. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
Where they find Alan Quartermain, that type of situation.
Sean Connery's character. Where he's just like in a kind of gentleman's club. But a hunter's club.
But like that sort of backdrop and just him in his own little sort of, I don't want to call it a shed.
Kind of where he's almost been retired almost.
Well, I would say he's kind of on his own. He's reclusive. Okay. But like.
A little nomad going on.
Yeah, sort of. Nomad's not.
No, I mean like a nomad, like a general term nomad.
Well, nomad means you're a traveler. He's give him like his own like sort
of
a
hermit kind of.
A hermit, that would be a better one. Yeah, like that's why I said a recluse.
Yeah,
where he's kind of on his own, but same like area where
you should understand. Ricky don't understand those words. Recluse.
Yes.
Ricky's can't even say.
Yeah,
it correctly.
A hermit. There you go, Ricky. A hermit. Where he's kind of off on his own, sort of that desert Sahara area.
Yeah.
And have it to where he's like, yeah, he hunts now. It's for the game. And then he sees like on the TV as he's working on whatever and where he stays, Spider-Man gets outed like the J. Jonah Jameson thing. Have it's like shown on there as like he gets out in like a little black and white TV no bigger than this laptop.
And I wonder how they're like how Disney and Kevin Feige are going to tie it in. Because
portable TV, that's what I was trying to think of.
I think there would be something where, you know how Mysterio was tied into the Iron Man stuff and we didn't expect that?
Yeah.
They would do something where Kraven is tied in, not just to Wakanda, he's tied into Spider-Man where he'd have a reason to where it wouldn't just be, hey, that would be a good thing to kill Spider-Man. Like, that'd be a good challenge. I guess you could do that, but with what they've showed us before, wouldn't they try to tie in a reasoning like he's the reason Spider-Man without knowing something he did or something that happened triggered this event and it gives him an MO for it.
I mean, the MO for Kraven is this would be an amazing hunt.
But would Kraven need to know Peter's identity in order to
But no, I say it would help. Like that would like give him like okay, like him, it's like he's already been like what he's already been doing. He's been planning this.
Okay,
like how he's gonna go about hunting, and like okay, how do I figure out who Spider-Man is? Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Well, that's a pretty good lead.
Yeah, for me, the start of it is the iffy part. Is like. Because the question is, if he's been planning it, why hasn't he tried to hunt him yet? Like, why has it taken so long to plan this?
You know, this is all after the snap, so we don't know what's going on with him then. Peter was gone during the snap.
Oh, good point.
So, I mean, it's not like there's been 5 years of him planning. Well, I mean, it could have been for him, but see that Spider-Man fell off the radar.
Far From Home happened moments after
the snapback.
Endgame, yeah. Endgame. So he hadn't been around for long.
Yeah, you don't know if Kraven got snapped away. We don't know it. Well, we do know Spider-Man got snapped away.
And then he got snapped away again. Because he got taken out of the MCU. He got snapped again, taken out of the MCU. Before he came, Doctor Strange was a sling ring, brought him back into the MCU.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you didn't like that joke, Johnny?
No.
Johnny's like, no, I didn't like that joke at all. But yeah, with me, I can't wait to see. And I almost put in here, there's an old article that I have like in our outline for like potential future topics of who could play Kraven. I almost put that in here to ask it now, but I want to leave that for later to have it be like its own segment of like maybe once Kraven is like confirmed, then it's like, okay, who can play him? Because the early, one of the early names that was thrown out there was John Manchild. I hope I said that name right. Manchild. Deathstroke from the DCEU. He was Marshall's friend in lawyer friend in How I Met Your Mother. But another interesting thing to get away from the MCU side into the more of the Sony side is, you know what's interesting? you want to know what Sony's actually looking like they're going to do to kind of explain why Spider-Man could branch from MCU to Spider-Verse is Madam Web. So news is that they're going to have Morbius screenwriters are going to write the Madam Web film. And because how we have this is July of 2021, we have Spider-Man 3. We also have Venom 2, which we're thinking Spider-Man will kind of be a tag. Like Tom Holland Spider-Man will be a tag either in that movie or at the end of that movie. Maybe, because I'm trying to think. Venom 2 is going to happen before Spider-Man 3, is it not?
Maybe.
Let's see. Yeah. So reverse that. Venom 2 is going to be a 2020 film. We'll get a Spider-Man tag in there. Then Spider-Man 3, we could potentially get a Venom tag at the end of that, like at the very end, a Eddie Brock Venom tag to kind of tag them together. Maybe Madam Web tag that bleeds us into the Madam Web movie, because it kind of seems like that's their explanation. She's going to be the linchpin of like how Peter Parker can go from these two different multiverses, and the MCU and the Spider-Verse can still say separate. And it kind of then will answer the question of like, well, if Venom is in New York dealing with Spider-Man, why can't, like, where are the Avengers? Why can't the Avengers help him? There's that, but also if it's happening in the MCU, we kind of know, like, we set up the sword thing for more cosmic threats. It's going to be kind of like when, what was it? I can't remember what movie it was, but it was more like where are the Avengers? Oh, well, Thor's dealing with this, and Cap's dealing with this, and he's dealing with this. I think it was like Homecoming, where it's like, where are these guys?
No, it's Far From Home.
Was it Far From Home?
Yeah, it was.
Is that what I'm thinking of?
Yeah,
where it's like, hey, they're all dealing with these different things, and no one has the time to help them.
What about Captain Marvel?
Exactly.
Don't invoke her name.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Or faux Nick Fury, spoilers. Don't invoke her name. But do you think this will... I'll ask you this. Are you excited to see Tom Holland Spider-Man in the Sony side of things at all?
I kind of am, as long as it plays well into, like, Venom 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would...
Because that's going to be potentially the first time we see them...
Crossover?
Coexist in some way.
The first crossover.
Yeah, even if it's like a 2 minute, 30-second post-credit scene.
I would like to see him a little bit into that film. If I'm kind of excited if Sony and Marvel decide to make a crossover thing, because
like
I mean,
MCU, Sony.
If like, what if Marvel sets up the Sinister Six, Sony does the Sinister Six, but just bring in Kevin Feige to help, do it all. I mean, I would be super excited for that, because like, let's see, who do we have so far? We have Mysterio, we have Vulture, we have
Prowler.
Do we have Prowler?
He was in Homecoming.
We do have Prowler, but I don't feel like he'd be a villain for that.
But I'm just like,
Shocker.
Most people, like, we have Shocker, we have Vulture, we've got Scorpion, we've got Mysterio, we've got Prowler. We've also got who else am I missing?
I'll put Prowler on this hand because I don't know if I'm going to count him as a Sinister.
Mysterio yet? So Shocker, I'm going to go Homecoming. Start with Homecoming first. Shocker, Prowler, Vulture, and Scorpion. I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah. Then Far From Home, we had Mysterio.
Yeah.
I think we're at 5 right now.
We're at 5.
We're at 5.
5.
4 in Prowler.
4 in Prowler. I'll agree with you with saying it that way. 4 in
Prowler.
If you add Craven for 3
for Hunted,
and then you get the full intro of Scorpion. That's 5.
Well, we already had Scorpion, so he already counted.
That's 5.
Yeah, you're right. That's 5. And then they could add the Prowler and make him be a
maybe,
6.
Or if they decide to push it over to
Sony introduces a Green Goblin
or
Doc Ock,
either Venom or Carnage. as the last part of the or Doc Ock to be your leader.
Because I think you'd need unless
you need a leader.
Vulture's going to be your leader.
Unless Vulture's going to play the leader.
Because he's kind of done it already.
Yeah. Or Doc Ock's the one that comes up with the idea, let's all team up.
Unless now we can get our Hugh Jackman as Norman Osborn.
I would say it's
already
I would say,
about.
say either they throw Carnage in as the Venom role when he joins the Sinister Six, or you have Doc Ock to take on the leader's role. Because you kind of have Scorpion for the big heavy hitter. Because I mean, if they do him right, Matt Gargan's gonna get huge.
Yeah.
And then who else do we have? That would be Mysterio's about sort of more of a stealth thing.
Vulture's the air attack guy.
Yeah.
You need brains.
You need brains.
That's what you need. And
I mean, you have leadership skill with him, but
he's not the brains of the operation. And if my webpage decides to stay up long enough for me to read it, there's also, going off of what you said, where to see kind of a co-project. According to Deadline, there may be a shared, detailed universe that connects the MCU and Sony's Spider-Man adjacent films like Venom 2 and Sinister 6. The report describes it as a call and answer. As fuck this, like I'm getting frustrated, guys, now on the podcast because I'm literally trying to read something and superhero hype's like, nope, you don't need to read that.
Keeps jumping around.
Not even that. It'll just, the page will break. The report describes it as a call and answer between the two franchises as they acknowledge details between the two. It may not be the tight continuity of the MCU, but it would potentially allow for greater interaction between the two. And I'm just going to close the page because that's useless to me. But basically what they're saying is it's not going to be like, hey, here's a film and it's Marvel and Sony coming together. It's more of, hey, we can reference one another. Like, it's okay for you to reference what happened to Spider-Man in the MCU in your movies, and we can reference, if, let's say, the movie Avengers After Venom, we can reference what happened to him after Venom happened.
Maybe we can reference the snap now inside the
Sony universe.
Exactly. The tie shit in.
But that would be funny if, because they're two different universes, where if Peter just mentions it and like everyone goes, what the fuck are you talking about? Like that didn't, like people from Eddie Brock and Venom 2. What are you talking about? That didn't happen. No, dude, it totally happened. Like I was snapped away. Dude, Thanos? Who? And it's like, they wouldn't know because it's two different universes or multiverses per se. Any final thoughts before we jump into the next topic?
I'd keep it the same universe, but I think it would be funny for now, pull that one out, Eddie Brock to go, just because it's Eddie Brock, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Just to fuck with Spider-Man for a few minutes.
Yeah. Even if he did know, just to be
he
like,
did know,
I don't know
just,
what you're talking
just
about.
to screw with him, go, what are you talking about? That never happened.
Yeah.
No, dude, I was gone for 5 years. I don't know.
I don't believe you, short fry. Or small fry.
We don't believe you.
We don't believe you. But let us know what you guys think down below about the plot of Spider-Man 3, your reactions, your dreams for what this new arrangement could be, and the future of Spider-Man, because I am excited that he's back home in the MCU. I'm going to say back home because he deserves to be with Marvel and his buddies in the MCU. But let us know, obviously, what you guys think down below.